Trustees at a museum in Hackney overruled staff recommendations to take down the statue of a slave trader. ITV News has seen minutes from a board meeting in July discussing what to do about the statue of Robert Geffrye at the Museum of the Home. In a public consultation, 71% of people who voted said it should be taken down. I spoke to a community activist earlier.
Here we are again. A slave trader and yet more documents from the museum that keeps him front and centre. ITV News London has seen a redacted document, the minutes from a July board meeting of the Museum of the Home. The executive recommended the statue be removed. There was a formal vote, and the majority of the trustees did not support the recommendation. Let's just break down the different groups. So you've got the executive who wanted to take the statue down, then you've got the board and the trustees.
The executive is the day-to-day management, the ones who actually look after all the issues in the area. So they're the ones who actually work with the staff, they are the staff, but also they interact with the community. So what we've seen is this really bizarre scenario where you have a community, you have the staff, you have the management of the museum, all saying, actually, this is an intolerable situation to work with. What we should do is remove the statue and actually run programs of education to share the history and place it in its right context. And then you have a board or trustees, and these are people who actually don't all even live in the borough, who these decisions have no bearing on what actually harms are being caused, and they're electing to keep the statue in place.
The Museum of the Home receives some funding from the government. And last month, the DCMS told us publicly funded museums must not remove statues. But in an earlier email exchange with the museum, the government said decision-making powers ultimately remained with the board.
If they do release documents that show...
Luke Billingham is the person who obtained the documents.
Well, I think it's highly significant that the DCMS Minister, Oliver Dowden, sent a letter to the board advising them that they should keep the statue up. Multiple members of the Board of Trustees are appointed by the DCMS. And so I think it's quite clear that the Board of Trustees went against the consultation, went against their own staff, went against the museum's Young Producers Group, went against the museum's Faith and Culture Forum. And it seems to be a significant factor in why they did all of that was because they were under pressure from the government.
The museum says it's reviewing the situation and is committed to a transformative programme of cultural change. 77% of those surveyed feel negatively about the statue, saying it sends a message that slavery is glorified. Ria Chatterjee, ITV News.